Once again, it's a privilege to be welcome into your homes. Today we are reading from 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 32 to 33, 37, then 40 to 51. David spoke to Saul, "Let your majesty not lose courage. I'm at your service to go and fight this Philistine." But Saul answered David, "You cannot go up against this Philistine and fight with him, for you are only a youth, while he has been a warrior from his youth." David continued, "The Lord, who delivered me from the claws of the lions and the bear, will also deliver me from the clutches of this Philistine." Saul answered David, "Go, the Lord will be with you." Then, staff in hand, David selected 5 smooth stones from the wadi and put them in the pocket of his shepherd's bag. With his sling also ready to hand, he approached the Philistine. With his shield bearer marching before him, the Philistine also advanced closer and closer to David. When he had sized David up and seen that he was youthful and ruddy and handsome in appearance, the Philistine held David in contempt. The Philistine said to David, "Am I a dog that you come against me with a staff?" Then the Philistine cursed David by his gods and said to him, "Come here to me, and I will leave your flesh for the birds of the air and the beasts of the field." David answered him, "You come against me with sword and spear and smiter, but I come against you in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of the army of Israel that you have insulted. Today, the Lord shall deliver you into my hand, and I will strike you down and cut off your head. This very day I will leave your corpse and the corpse of the Philistine army for the birds of the air and the beasts of the field. Thus, the whole land shall learn that Israel has a God. All this multitude, too, shall learn that it is not by sword or spear that the Lord saves. For the battle is the Lord's, and he shall deliver you into our hands." The Philistine then moved to meet David at close quarters, while David ran quickly towards the battle line in the direction of the Philistine. David put his hand into his bag and took out a stone, hauled it with the sling, and struck the Philistine on the forehead. The stone embedded itself in his brow, and he fell prostrate on the ground. Thus David overcame the Philistine with a sling and stone. He struck the Philistine mortally and did it without a sword. Then David ran and stood over him. With the Philistine's own sword, which he drew from his sheath, he dispatched him and cut off his head. The reading presents the decisive moment of David's confrontation with Goliath. A clash that is far more than physical strength versus size. David steps forward, not because he is confident in himself, but because he is confident in God. While Saul and the army see only danger and impossibility, David sees opportunity for God's name to be honored. David's refusal to wear Saul's armor is significant. He chooses not to rely on what has worked for others or what appears impressive. Instead, he goes with what God has already used in his life: a sling and stones, tools of faithful experience. This reminds us that God often works through what is familiar and humble, not through borrowed strength or false security. David's declaration, "The Lord who delivered me will deliver me," shows a faith shaped by memory. He recalls past faithfulness as a foundation for present courage. His trust is not naive optimism, but confidence built on God's proven action. When David runs towards Goliath, the outcome makes clear that the victory belongs to the Lord. The defeat of the giant reveals that power does not rest in weapon or size, but in resilience and reliance on God. Dear friends, we are encouraged by David to face our own giants with faith, humility, and obedience, trusting that when God is at the center, what seems impossible can become a testimony to his saving power. Shalom.